Hey everyone, welcome to Developer Tips. Today we'll discuss about Angular component. In this video, we are unblocking the building block of Angular app, that is component. By the end of this video, you will create and understand each and every line of our first Angular component from the scratch. Let's deep dive in. First, we'll go through the theory. What is Angular component, how we can create a component, and the key point of Angular component. Then we'll go to the code part. What is Angular component? What do you mean by Angular component? In Angular component are the foundation of your app. Like each, whatever you are seeing in the, suppose Angular application, you can make all the component, all the part to a component itself. Like in Angular, there is three parts, like mainly three parts. What are the three parts? One is class, one is template, one is decorator. What is, suppose I am considering, okay, comparing with a human being, like for a human, like class is a brain and template is the face and decorator is the config. Here we are referring to a component decorator for the component, that component we are specifying that one. Then we are coming to the next question. How we can create a component? We can create a component using two way. We can go and create a file, like component is simply a class. We can create a class file and we can use that component decorator and can create. That's we call a manually creation of the component. We can, instead of that, we can use take the help of Angular CLI. Using Angular CLI and manually. How we can create using Angular CLI? Using ng generate component and component name. This we have to specify, okay, in the terminal we have to specify, okay, ng generate component and component name. By using this one, it will just give the boilerplate code. We don't have to write any, directly we can start building our application with this boilerplate and add the logic to that code. This is the same, this will also do the same thing, but it's a shortened syntax manually also. When we are writing the code, we'll create a manually, we'll create one component, then we'll use the Angular CLI to create the component. What is the key point of Angular component? In Angular, there is 5 key point, that is selector, standalone, then imports, then template URL, then style URL. Like selector, template URL and style URL. These are okay from the starting from the Angular 2 itself, it's present. Now after Angular 16, these two metadata are introduced, like one is standalone flag and one is imports. We'll come, okay, what is standalone component? Okay, we'll just, okay, first we'll go with the definition of a selector, then template URL, then style URL, then we'll come to, okay, standalone and imports. First, okay, selector. Define the custom HTML tags used to insert this component to other template. Suppose we created one component, I have to use that component in other component or other template. Okay, then with referring to this selector, we can use that in other component. Then coming to template URL. What template URL? Template URL, when you're creating a component, there we specified the HTML. Okay, whatever the HTML we are writing, we can use this file to write all our HTML. Then style, suppose for the style, we'll create one style file. Whatever the style for that component, we'll write in the style file as well. Then coming to the standalone and import. What standalone does? Standalone, okay, after Angular 16, in Angular 16, standalone and import is introduced. What is standalone? If you are using Angular 16 or later version, you have to use a standalone flag. Like it means without needing to declare them in module. Earlier, like before Angular 16, we need Angular ng module to use any component. But after Angular 16, we can skip the ng module as well. And there is multiple benefit of using standalone component. It's easier to manage, it's lightweight, and we can use anywhere without help of ng module. That we do. I just make one definition here. Make this component self-contained and not a part of any Angular module. Then what import? Whenever you are using whatever the dependency we are using in that component, that we are mentioning. Suppose it's a component, maybe it's a component, it's a directive, or it's a pipe maybe. before moving to the code, I am just mentioning one point here. Template, instead of template URL and style URL, template, suppose you have one line of two line of code or small line of like few line of code, you want you don't want to use, you don't want to create a separate HTML file or style file, then you can use inline styling as well. For that, instead of template URL we can use template, and instead of style URL we can use styles. That we can do. For you, I created one starter project. The starter project link I will give you in the description. You can find there. Like this is the starter project, Angular YT. Here, whenever you are just download that file and download that project and run that project. How we can run this project? Just upon integrated terminal, and we can use your ngSurf. I can do. It will build and it will just open in Angular in localhost 4200. I'm just coming here. It's okay. It will look like this. Starter project. You can consider it a starter project. Now we'll create one component here. I created one folder like component tutorial. Inside this, I will create first I will create one manual component. I will create a component using manually. Then we'll create the component with the help of Angular CLI. Here I'll create one file, new file, my manual component.ts. I can make it like this. I just created, then export class. I can do my manual. Okay, it's a normal class. Now I will make this class as a component. For that I have to use a component decorator. Inside this component decorator, I will specify all the things whatever I just mention here: selector, standalone, import, template URL, style URL. Instead of template URL, I will use template for inlining, and style URL I will use styles. Then selector hyphen my manual, something, anything you can mention. Then standalone, it's a standalone component. For that reason I mentioned standalone true. Then imports, for imports I am specifying now empty. Then template, for template, inline template I will use for h1. This is a created manually. I'll also use inline style. I can use h1 color green. I created this component, but it's not affecting anywhere because I just created that component. To use this component, I have to use somewhere. I will use this component. For now I will use this component directly in my app component. Here I will use, suppose I am using here, I just inserted this component here, but it give me some error, like app my manual is not a known element. The browser don't know it's a HTML tag or how, it not able to recognize it's a tag or it's anything. Then for to use this component or use this selector in any other component, I have to make it available. To make available, I have to refer this one in my app component.ts. I will go this, no, I will app component.ts. I'll go this place. I'll just in the import again. Now it's so another error. Import must be an array of component, directive or module. Not be detailed. That means it telling cannot find name my manual component, because for this we have to import that here. we have to refer this one, import my manual component from, I can use component tutorial, then I can use my manual component. Now the error will go. Yeah, now we can able to see this one. Yeah, this is the magic. Now we created the component using we created the component manually. Now we'll take the help of Angular CLI and we'll create the component. In this folder, I just open the terminal, then I can use I'll use ng generate component. I will use sort and syntax, then component name. What is the component name? My component. I just mentioned my component. I just hit enter. It will create 3 files, that is CSS file, that is style file, then template file for HTML, whatever the HTML we have to write here. Then this is a spec file means for unit testing, we have to refer this one, and this is the TypeScript file, whatever all the things are refer here only. Like this is the TypeScript file. It's look like whatever the file we created earlier manually, it's look like same only, but it gives a boilerplate. We don't have to write this one. It will just help the developer to build application faster. Then here everything, whatever the HTML we have to write here, and whatever the style I want to write, I have to write here, and where I want to use this component, I have to refer this class. I have to this selector, this name I have to use. Suppose I am just for now I am just creating one h1 tag, and this is another component created using Angular CLI. Suppose now whatever the style also you want to write here, you can write here any style. Then I will use this one in the same place. Also in the app component I want to use this one. I am just using this one. Same error it also thrown, but for the error I have to refer this class. I can take this one and I can go this place, import array. I can specify through the error. My IDE give the intelligent, just quick fix I can do. It automatically import this one. You can able to see it automatically import. Now I just save this one. Make sure your app is running. My app is running. Now I can go and check. This is in this tutorial, we have created 2 things. We have created 2 component. One is one component we created manually, and one component with taking the help of Angular CLI we created, and we also use that component, both the component in our app component, and we got this output. We have just built your first Angular component. In the next chapter we'll discuss about different type of data binding in Angular app. First we'll discuss the data binding theory a little bit, then we'll also move to the deep dive in the coding, how data binding works and different type of data binding. If you found this is helpful, smash the like button, subscribe, comment and share with your tech friends. Thank you.